Welcome back from the rest hold, everybody. It's time for us to get into our main event for this episode, which is going to be heel or face the Wyatt family. Now, normally when we do heel or face, we have somebody who's gone through both of the gimmicks, and we can kind of compare back and forth whether or not something makes sense that, you know, they're better as a heel or they're better as a babyface. This time around, it's pretty brand new, so we're going to kind of like lean the direction a little bit differently to should they be babyface, and if that's the case, then how should we solidify that face turn? What do we think is their potential cap that they can reach when it comes to that? Or are we leaning more towards along the lines of they should just stay heels because it's better that way, more natural fit, so on and so forth like that. So the first thing to talk about, though, is just overall first impressions of this whole face turn. Hasn't been 100% confirmed yet, although it seems like that's the case. Peyton, I'm going to start off with you. Do you think that this is going to be a good idea in the grand scheme of things, or is this going to kind of look back as like, yeah, that was a weird experiment, but fuck it, let's go back to heel?
No, I always thought that Bray Wyatt was destined to have a very, very big babyface run at some point. And the question is how you portray the character, because you can't just have him come out there and, like, I don't know, handing out cookies to the crowd or anything like that. That's not what Bray Wyatt does. But what they've been doing with him, he just has to not be as dastardly. And that's fine. Like when the Wyatt family got involved in his match on Monday night, they just came out and took out, who was the guy at ringside, Rusev? But they didn't attack the other guys who were actually in the match. They let the match continue, as opposed to before where they would come out there and just calls it all out DQ. So that's the big way you're going to make him different. Other than that, he can kind of remain the same, and then you just let the crowd sing along with him, which they like doing. They like doing that. He's got the whole world in his hands. I'm sure they'll come up with something else next time they're in New York City or something.
Catching flies.
In his flies. People love taking out the cell phones. I mean, he's got the coolest entrance probably right now. I mean, not counting Undertaker, but as far as someone who's come out in the last number of years, when he comes out there, the music is great. He's got the lantern with the smoke coming out of it. The freaking fireflies, they call them, which is a perfect name for it. People waving their phones out there.
I did like this week how when he said the usual, you know, like we're here kind of a thing, that was more like let's pop the crowd and be like, where were they, Chicago? Or no?
Los Angeles.
Los Angeles. And he's just like, Los Angeles, I'm here. Like, oh man, fucking sweet, let's pop. That worked.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's a good way to get the crowd interested in that.
I know I was sitting there just going, yeah man, I'm gonna fucking pop.
Oh man, he's here. Even though he sabotaged earlier.
That Road Wyatt pop.
Drew, what are your thoughts on this whole face turn that's happening? Are you into it yet?
I'm into it in a way of hopefully it makes me want to like Bray Wyatt again, because I've thought he's been boring for a year and a half now. And hopefully this gives me a reason not to think he's boring and to love him again. Hopefully. Maybe.
Lego, what do you think?
I think we saw big evidence of the biggest flaw with Bray Wyatt as a heel. They kind of got a little stale, and the babyface turn has totally done a 180 on him. I'm actually interested to see what he's doing. And as far as Wyatt goes, I think he's one of the most entertaining people in the company when he's not wrestling. What's cool about the babyface character now is he doesn't actually have to do much different. He's already established everything, and because it comes off as cool, it's gotten over. And that's always the case. Whenever you have a cool heel, they eventually get turned by the audience anyway. So you saw it go in that way. Jim Cornette brought it up in an interview before. They had this one particular villain in the territory, and he used to stick toothpicks under people's nails and do a whole bunch of really dastardly shit. Well, Wyatt does a whole bunch of dastardly shit. Now we get to see them do it to the villains who we don't like. That's the cool thing about turning a villain like that.
Yeah, when Austin would give a stunner to a babyface, it was just kind of like, damn, he did the stunner to them. But every time he did it to a heel, it was like, fuck yeah, we finally have somebody take it to the bad guy. And when Dean Ambrose comes out and he's doing his shtick, it's fun as hell. If you did it to a face, he would be full on heel. You do it to Jericho, and you're the biggest babyface of the whole damn roster. But what about the other members of the Wyatt family? Like, Bray Wyatt's got that gift of gab.
That's what I meant. It's like, people will actually enjoy when those guys come to the ring. Because how many times have we sat there and the Wyatt family interrupts and you're like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now it's like, babyfaces are going to be, heels are going to get their ass kicked. And apparently there's a really angry car outside.
Well, I know a lot of us were talking about the potential of Luke Harper turning, and that he should like separate himself, and that he would be a great babyface in the future. Now he's unfortunately injured, so it's not going to be the case. But you know, if he is ready to go by the time that they're still in the babyface mood, and they can bring him back and whatever like that, would you guys rather see him separate, even though he would be heel? Or is it okay for him to stay with the company's stable kind of babyface thing and go on his own a little bit later on? I know Peyton's very like pro Luke Harper. What do you think about that?
I'd love for Luke Harper to get a singles run, and
You sound a lot like Wago there, Peyton.
Oh, I thought you said Wago. Sorry.
Well, I think he just mentioned me that was my viewpoint, but I think it was open for anyone.
Yeah, I mean it is, but go ahead, Wago.
Oh, sure. Since you asked, Luke Harper as a villain, we haven't really seen him too much stray away from the Wyatt family character. Even when he had that IC title run, I think he's got a lot to offer. So I'll cave in and say Peyton was right when it came to the two Wyatt family members. He's easily the more talented out of him and Eric Rowan. I don't consider Braun in the discussion because he's just a log. But
Braun Log Strowman. That'd be the worst nickname.
So, yeah, he could definitely rejoin the Wyatt family and turn on Bray, and that's a feud which could essentially put Luke Harper as the leader of the Wyatt family and rename it.
Yeah, but what if they didn't rename it? It's still the Wyatt family. Starring Luke Harper. So, Peyton, what do you think? Is that the right direction to go, or should they do something else with Harper?
I don't expect Luke Harper to take over the Wyatt family. I think that would be kind of awkward. I couldn't see him being a leader, but I can see him being a lone wolf. So I could see him getting excommunicated from the Wyatt family in some way. Either maybe he loses some big match for them and they turn on him, kind of like League of Nations did on Barrett, or maybe he just gets sick of it and decides to go out on his own anyway, and he's the one who's the catalyst for it.
He becomes the new lone wolf after taking it from Baron Corbin.
Baron Corbin ain't doing too much right now.
Maybe they could be a tag team together, the Lone Wolves.
Shit, they probably could do two tall dudes with fucking lots of power.
I could actually see Luke Harper pulling off the biker thing.
Yeah.
Well, he
You
pretty
trim
has a
him up a little
biker
bit,
jacket
yeah.
on now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like,
Luke Harper's bald spot bothers me way too much.
There's
I
a lot of
never
bikers
noticed
with
it.
bald spots.
Yeah.
he has a bald spot?
He has a pretty bad bald spot.
Legitimately, I've never noticed it.
Really?
Yeah.
It's-
Where is
I
it?
always
Now,
thought it was like-
all
I
that's
thought it
the
was part of
only
his character.
that's the only thing you're gonna fucking notice now. Unless he's like grown it back in and it was a part of his character. I don't know.
Yeah, I never noticed it. Is it like the back of his head, or is it like the top? Or...
Top.
Huh.
It's a typical crown spot.
I'm gonna have to like Wego just said. I'm gonna be like noticing that from now on. That's gonna be the only thing. But Drew, what do you think about Luke Harper? His direction for when he can return? Should he come back as like a babyface in the group, or should he just be a lone person separate from them, or a heel, or what?
I think it'd be interesting if he returns and he's still technically a heel in a way of he missed this whole changing of Bray Wyatt and what they do, and maybe he still interferes on matches on accident, and then he either slowly turns into a babyface and joins the group, or he gets exiled eventually.
How do you interfere accidentally? Oh man, I accidentally turned off the lights, came in the ring and booted you in the face by mistake. My bad.
It's like, look, you're not supposed to do that. And I'm like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, Bray.
Oh,
Give
man, I
me-
thought we were heels. Wait, we like these guys now? Well, I missed a fucking memo, dude.
I've been
You
gone.
weren't a part of that
jeez.
group chat on Facebook.
I don't think they use Facebook. They probably have cell phones. Actually, no, I bet they use like pigeons with letters to exchange.
If they want to be old and creepy, they could use MySpace.
I could see them using MySpace.
Nah, I do AIM.
Although I could see Eric Rowan using Zanga still. For that matter, what do we do with Eric Rowan? This guy's going to be a future legend. Is this going to be the start?
Tony, he's going to become the big favorite in the group. Everyone's going to love Eric Rowan. Next year at WrestleMania, he gets the rematch with The Rock. He wins in 2 seconds, breaking The Rock's record.
It's like literally impossible.
If
No,
you
no, no.
remember the first time that they split the Wyatt family, Eric Rowan was the one they pushed as a babyface.
Wasn't that awkward as hell? Like, the idea that they were going to do that, and he had that weird thing, just like, bing, bing, bing,
Well, the thing is, what was interesting about him, he proved to be a really smart guy, which was
But you can solve
weird.
Rubik's cubes.
Yeah, it was weird.
Can
Just
any of us
Rubik's
here
Cube.
solve a Rubik's Cube?
He could solve a Rubik's Cube, but not love. That's her
That is-
story.
I do remember that. So if they turn face and maybe the Wyatt family are allowed to have their more opinions outside of what Bray thinks, maybe we could see a more sophisticated Eric Rowan. Like, what if he starts coming out in like Dr. Shelby harness jackets?
Harness jackets?
That little cardigan.
You know, the
he
Dr.
had.
Shelby jacket? Yeah.
Yeah. Go to WWEshop.com right now. Pick up those Dr. Shelby harness jackets. Not even a generic straight jacket, just the Dr. Shelby ones. It's like a Letterman's jacket. Sort of. All right. Well, Eric Rowan, Wago, what do you think is his direction for the future? Is he somebody who leans more towards the heel or face side, or is happy medium kind of more the way to go?
Leans more to a release contract if they ever split up.
No.
I'm serious. I don't really see much of a future for that guy. Maybe put people over in NXT. But I like Eric Rowan because of our jokes, but that's about the only reason I like Eric Rowan.
To be fair, that's the main reason why anybody should like Eric Rowan.
He's better as a heel than he is a babyface just because he was awkward as a babyface. Though that might not be fair to say because they kind of cut it short. They gave him some quirks and then he just went away. So I'll take heel.
Peyton, any thoughts on Rowan?
Rowan is a guy that has to be in a group like the Wyatt family, and that's fine. I think the Wyatt family should always be there. I don't think Bray Wyatt ever needs to be alone. He could always have the Wyatt family behind his back. Just like Bobby Heenan always had the Heenan family.
But the way he gets fucking injured, he probably does need them.
Yeah, shit.
And if Bray Wyatt becomes just a manager, that's okay too.
You know what? That actually is probably a better scenario than a lot of other things. Like, Bray Wyatt, he has a lot to offer when it comes to his character in the ring, but his character outside of the ring is even more important. Like, this dude, in a different era, would have just been a manager. And it would have been cool. Like, I don't think anybody would have complained if he was having verbal spats with, like, Captain Lou Albano and whatnot. That would have been interesting. And if he's done in any capacity, like, over the next couple of years, I'm not going to be like, oh, man, we're going to miss out on all these 5-star matches. His in-ring quality is not that great. I'd rather him wrestle, but having him be a manager, he can talk. So why not, you know?
Bray Wyatt, it's not even that he's bad in the ring, he just can't wrestle everybody in the ring. So he's very much average in the ring. He can't have a great match with everybody, and there's not many people that can.
He seems to be the type that really does well with, like, gimmick matches more. Like, I can't really picture him having a good match with somebody like a Sami Zayn.
To be fair, he's not a guy that should be wrestling very often. You should only have him in a few matches, a couple singles matches and a few gimmicks matches each year. It's a character you keep protected.
And he should win a lot of them.
Yeah, he should win the good majority of them, but I guess they just see him as another... I don't know what they see him as. I mean, you can't even say they see him as an Undertaker because they protected Undertaker a lot more.
Well, they have done a good job protecting Braun Strowman. And that guy, that's
Fucking
a different
sucks.
He is, I mean, he needs so many different things that can need to be, like, upgraded and such, but having him be a monster heel makes a lot of sense. Having him be a monster babyface, what do you guys think about that? I don't see much potential in it, to be honest.
Nope.
No, he's just there going along with the group. His long-term future, if there is any, is as a heel. Without
His
a doubt.
long-term future, if any, is getting their attitude adjusted by John Cena or speared by Roman Reigns.
Yeah, like, this babyface turn, it's working for him now, but it's only like a week, and that's about it. Very soon, I'm assuming we're going to see some cracks in the foundation when it comes to that, because if they had Luke Harper right now, I don't know if they would have gone with this trio. I think that they might have done, like, a separation of sorts.
I commended them originally for bringing up somebody differently than just, like, transitioning them from NXT to WWE, like skipping the NXT thing just because it made it more of a surprise. But at the same time, we're seeing, excuse me, we're seeing where that's becoming an issue.
Yeah, because he
Because
needs a lot of work.
Luke Harper and Eric Rowan and Bray Wyatt all got to do that act on NXT and bond together as a team on NXT. He's the guy that's out the loop, and it shows.
The old Luke Harper. What do you guys think is the potential for some feuds as baby faces? We've already seen the heel Wyatt family go up against like the anyone but you Roman Reigns thing. We've seen him go up against Dean Ambrose. We've seen him go up against John Cena and all that. This is a different dynamic. So we've got heels that we can feud with. Any stand out as like, man, I can't wait to see the Wyatt family versus, I don't know, like, well, I mean, we're getting League of Nations right now. And for a little bit, New Day were heels. Now they're not.
I got one name. Triple fucking H.
Triple H versus Bray himself, or just the Wyatt family in general?
Versus Bray Wyatt. And you can have the, what? God damn. What is people's cars around here? Yeah, Bray Wyatt versus Triple H. That stare down in the Royal Rumble got a massive pop, and it was a really cool moment. Then you add the fact that Triple H will have the Authority backing him. Bray Wyatt will have the Wyatt family backing him. That's an awesome stable feud that you can do.
Well, Wago, I know that you're a huge Lesnar fan. We did get a lot of teases that we're going to get Bray Wyatt versus Brock Lesnar, although it seemed like Lesnar was the face in that regard. Now it could be a switch. Is that the right way to go?
Sorry, that fucking car was going off again. I swear to God I will cut somebody. So, yeah, fucking Bray Wyatt and Brock Lesnar, no chance. I hate that concept. I don't think their characters will go well together. You might have a couple of decent promos between Paul Heyman and Bray, but it's just a dynamic I'm not interested in. I think the match will be utter dog shit. Two characters that have to be relatively dominant in the ring. Yeah, it's going to be kind of a weird mesh.
Peyton, any like feuds for a babyface Wyatt that you can think of that you really are interested in seeing in the future?
Heel Roman Reigns. That's 100% what the big feud's going to be this summer.
When do you think that's going to happen?
Summer.
SummerSlam?
Summer.
Around that time?
Summer.
Summer Rae? Summer. Drew, any thoughts on babyface feud?
No.
Great.
Well, are you talking about just Brock Lesnar and Bray Wyatt?
Or
just
well, any of those in general. Is
I
that
think
something that's like that's the standout one that seems interesting to you, or is there another one?
No, I would not want to see Bray Wyatt and Brock Lesnar kind of in the same boat with Wago on that. Though I think a possible Authority versus Bray Wyatt, that's something that could be a little interesting. If they end up doing Shane versus Triple H at some point, I wouldn't be surprised if Shane has the backing of the Wyatt family going into it.
So there's some people, I'm looking at the roster right now, some of the heels that I just can't see working with Bray. And some of them, of course, they're on a different level, so that wouldn't be the case necessarily. But like, Bray Wyatt versus Tyler Breeze, I don't think that would work. Bray Wyatt versus The Miz?
What makes you think Tyler Breeze would get a major story anyway?
That's what I meant with different levels. But like, The Miz is Intercontinental Champion right now. I still can't see The Miz versus Bray being good.
I still think Bray is too high for that. The way they've always tried to position Bray, I think he's above those mid-card titles. Maybe he could be sending Braun Strowman in to attack The Miz, but I don't think that would have any fuel to it.
There's one person that nobody's mentioned yet that I could see being kind of interesting, and it kind of goes against what I've been saying for a long time, and that's Stardust. Just a real quick feud, because if they drag it on, it'd be fucking pain in the ass. But a quick, like, Stardust is weird, Wyatt family's weird, but you're supposed to cheer for the Wyatt family. I'd be interested in, like, a one-shot of that.
Sure.
You know?
They'd have to turn Stardust. He isn't... I think he's a heel right now.
That's what I mean, if Wyatt family's babyface.
Oh,
Babyface Wyatt's versus heel Stardust, then they can fuck off the Stardust character. Fuck, hell with that. I don't like that anymore. Yeah, we've got like
swerved.
We got Primo and Epico, and it's like that's not gonna work. That's not gonna work against anybody. I don't really have much faith in the idea of the Wyatt family versus the Bullet Club, but that's a possibility. We don't know much about them yet, so something different at the very least. Kevin Owens, I don't know about that. You guys think that there's any money in an Owens versus Bray Wyatt feud?
Sure.
Money? No. It'd be a cool feud, though.
I think you can make money. I mean, you're building a star out of Kevin Owens. You could really build an opposition for him to go against the Wyatts if you wanted to.
Yeah, they're building a star called John Cena and Roman Reigns. Everyone else is just playing their part, which is fine.
Well, what do you guys think is the
I
worst?
thought Kevin Owens was one of the highest merchandise sellers, but I guess that doesn't matter.
Is he?
Yes.
Cool. Glad to see
With, like-
Owens selling some shit.
Yeah, him and
Well,
his
he did the smart
5,000
thing
t-shirts.
and wrestled in his he wrestles in his merchandise. It's an easy way to sell. Smart. More guys should do it. I
Worked for Mysterio.
think Ambrose is missing the boat on that. Should like
Wait,
wear his shirts more often.
Yeah, he's really marketing Hanes really well.
What if that's true? Like, what if their sales are going up?
Because of
They're
that
just
white-
like, oh man, ever since this fucking wrestler started wearing these like undershirts, we're really selling a lot of them. WWE gets like a nice fruit basket. They're like, thanks.
Well, that would be if it was Fruit of the Loom.
I see what you did there. That's good. What do you guys think is the worst mistake that they can make for them as baby faces? I got to assume we're all in the same boat here. You don't have them come out and cut tater tot promos.
Oh,
What do you
absolutely.
mean, Tater Tot?
They should never cater to children. At least never specifically. I mean, there was a really cool video where Bray Wyatt met this little girl who was a huge fan of him, and she was like doing gymnastics moves like him, and that was cute, and it was a fun, heartfelt moment. But like while they're out there, they should never be making cutesy. Well, although then again, they do nursery rhymes. That is kind of their shtick.
They should strangle children when they come out. That'd be better.
Yeah, I don't want to see Bray Wyatt coming out there like having like bopping heads with the children as he's coming out like Rey Mysterio did or anything like that.
No. Well, to be fair, we still don't know what Rey Mysterio is to say. He could have been saying some twisted shit.
Well, this is true. But Bray Wyatt, I don't think should ever go to the crowd directly like that at all. Like he should never like clap hands with people. Like if he wants to like control them by making him do his bidding, that's fine. But he should just do it in a way where he's like a cult of personality and not, you know,
He's gonna come out to CM Punk's old team.
yeah. No, that's exactly what it'd be. He'll be more like a Donald Trump.
Look in my
People love
flies. What do you see?
He already used fucking AJ Styles' TNA theme in that one promo. So why not? He might as well just make a gimmick out of stealing everybody's music.
You know the last thing I want to see, and you were talking about catering to children, when we have like John Cena have like a commercial and it's like a little kid dressed up as John Cena and he like, you know, gives him a high five and holds the title or something like that. I don't want to see Bray Wyatt come out with those kids again where they're all dressed up like wearing the Hawaiian shirt and shit. Like, I don't want to see this at all.
It's like Beetlejuice goes Hawaii.
Yeah, like that would just immediately take me out of it. Like, could you really picture Braun Strowman standing next to little kids and being like anything other than somebody you would call the cops for?
I don't know when the last time Bray even wore the Hawaiian shirt was. He usually wears like a t-shirt now.
I thought it was pretty recently. Maybe like pre-WrestleMania.
He has like that vest he wears sometimes now that has the patches on it.
Yeah. He's been wearing different types of pants and stuff too. Like he's
Oh
trying to
yeah,
keep
he used to just wear the
up.
white pants. Now he's wearing like yellow pants and red pants.
Is there anything that stands out to you as something that would be like the worst possible thing for you to do for a babyface Wyatt family?
The worst thing that you could possibly do for a babyface Wyatt family is they start cutting John Cena promos and just start making a bunch of cheesy jokes.
Bunch of poop jokes.
Yeah, so pretty much don't make him become John Cena, then you're doing okay.
The last topic that I have, as far as some different things I can think of, how do you guys transition them back to being heels? Or do you just actually keep the future legacy as now they're baby faces and it kind of sticks with that? Like, we've had certain characters over the years go back and forth. Some other ones, like, for the most part, The Undertaker's been a baby face for his career. Started out as a heel, went through a couple heel runs now and then, but overall, he's a baby face. Is this now the time for the Wyatt family to just be face going forward, or should you bring him back, and how would you do it?
I mean, I would give him time, enough time for it to settle, maybe even a few years at most. But when it gets exhausted and when they've run out of good opponents to go against, then you can do it. And it's really easy. You just have a baby face that people really like in the ring doing something. The bleh happens, the lights go out, and they just beat the shit out of him. Like
The
basically
vomit.
the same way they turned babyface.
We still need to figure out what they actually say during there. They got to be saying something. They couldn't have just been like, just do something. Wigo, what do you think about this whole future and whatnot?
I'll break and flipping from babyface to heel whenever it suits him, but I think the money in that guy, if there is any, is going to be a babyface. Just because, again, cool heels, people like to sing along. They're going to do it regardless if he's heel or babyface, so you might as well just go with the narrative that the fans want.
Maybe
Drew,
this
your
isn't even
thoughts?
like so black and white. Maybe he's just Bray Wyatt. And maybe like 1 month he'll be fighting a babyface, 1 month he'll be fighting a heel. He could just be him.
No, I can't do that. That's fucking Roman Reigns' job right now.
They're going to be like, well, he's not like babyface. He's not heel. He's, it's not that black and white.
Yeah.
He's not black or white.
Why has it got to be the Wyatt family?
Yeah, I love that's my favorite call from like the longest time. Drew, what do you think about this whole future and whatnot?
It's a bit tricky. I would need to see them play out the babyface role a little bit more to see how they do. But personally, it's if they suck doing both, I just would rather not see them. So it's just whatever they succeed best at. If I would be interested in a way they could just have Bray Wyatt fight whoever he wants, kind of in the way that maybe Roman does, or the way Brock Lesnar kind of has been booked lately, where he's just an ass kicking machine. Maybe they could just do something similar, except he's a Bray kicking machine or something like that.
I'm gonna kick you in the bray.
Merca.
All right, so bottom line, heel or face, Wyatt family, Wago,
I'm going to go with babyface.
Peyton,
For the foreseeable future, definitely a babyface.
Drew.
Babyface, because they kind of sucked as heels.
And you know what? We've gone through the heel stuff long enough, and I got a little tired of it. I like this new babyface thing. I think that it could be kind of interesting. Let's make it a foursome. All of us
Wait.
going babyface here.
Next month we're all going to be like, oh, fucking babyface, what sucks.
Probably. That's a good chance that it could end up happening. But, that'll be next month. We'll worry about it then. But leave your comments below, everybody. Tell us what you think about this whole situation. Should the Wyatt family be heel or babyface? What do you think the potential is for their babyface run in the future? What would you do with Luke Harper and Braun Strowman and Eric Rowan and Bray Wyatt himself if he should just split off on his own and not have a Wyatt family anymore? And since we don't have the Fantasy League, this is actually our last section for this episode. So we're going to go into the plugs right now. So, Wago, start us off.
At Stephen Wago on Twitter, Stephen Wago on Twitch, Stephen Wago everywhere, and that's Stephen spelled with a PH. Wago is WAGO.
Drew.
You can follow me on the Twitter machine at Drewsif White. You could go to McFrickin' on the YouTube machine and subscribe to me there. And go to the Mega Maniacs on Facebook to chat with cool people like us and whoever the hell else just wants to be in there and provide you with some amazingness.
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 Peyton.
If you enjoyed us ranting about wrestling, join us every single Monday as soon as Raw goes off the air. Set your browser to megapowersradio.com, and we're chatting there where you can join us in the chat, tweet to us, most interactive post-Raw experience available where you get to be involved throughout the night, and find me streaming games almost nightly on Twitch at MRPADEN. That's Mr. Peyton.
All right, that's it for episode number 229. Everybody, thank you all for listening. Make sure you hit that thumbs up on all our videos and that subscribe button if you haven't already. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and so on and so forth. And go check out smarkoutmoment.com for the articles and everything else coming your way from pro wrestling side of things. Next week, we have the mailbag for April. So if there's any questions you want to submit to us, go ahead and do that before Tuesday, because that's probably when I'm going to be backlogging everything and making sure that's all set up for the next episode. And after that, we're going to have Payback predictions and then the Payback post-show, because that, obviously, the event's going to be on May 1st. And then we're going to start getting into Extreme Rules and such. So keep paying attention to episode 230 and forward for Smack Talk. And for this episode, this has been another Smark Out moment, and we're being counted out. 5, 2, yeah! Bray Wyatt. Rene Dupree. What was Rene Dupree's theme?
Not Rene Dupree. Maybe this name is Rene Dupree.
He ain't getting money. Ha ha ha.
Renee's
He ain't
name.
getting money. No money, no money, no money, no money, no money.
Not a dollar. Not a dollar.
No money, no money, mo money, mo. I said mo money.
No money, mo money. That's a big change. Not gonna get a dime. Here's a lot.
Now he's got fuck money. Fuck money, fuck money, fuck money, fucking money. They say. See what, fuck money.
Fuck.